Hi, how are you? My name is Aliyah and I'm in need of some art therapy. So today we're gonna be painting and answering invasive questions. I asked you guys on my spam account on my Instagram, which you should follow. If you haven't followed by now, what are you doing? But I asked you guys on my spam account to ask me some questions that are kind of invasive, kind of personal, that I will be answering in today's video. For this video, I'm going to be painting a picture that I drew. You can't really see it, but we're going to be painting a not so sober fish because that's how I feel all the time. An embodiment of myself is what we're going to be painting. So without further ado, we're just going to get personal, chit chat, talk, paint. You guys won't be able to see the paint. I'll give you like updates as we go, but for the most part, we're just going to be talking. So sit down, grab a snack, and let's get to painting, shall we? Okay, so before we get any further to today's video, I'd like to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, which is BetterHelp. You guys know that I'm a long-time worker with BetterHelp. This isn't anything new to you if you've been watching, but if you're new, let me explain what BetterHelp is. BetterHelp is an online therapy community with thousands and thousands and thousands of licensed therapists, all at the extent of your fingertips through any of your devices. You can use BetterHelp to get any type of mental health help through a licensed therapist. The process is really easy. You have to do a sign up, put in your information, and boom, you're matched within 48 hours. And then if you don't really like them or feel uncomfortable, feel like the energy just isn't there, you can switch to somebody else with the quickness. This totally eliminates all the awkwardness of sitting in a therapy room, feeling just really cold and isolated, and like you can't really switch up based on your insurance, or you can't switch therapists that fast because of all the research and stuff like that. But with BetterHelp, you have backups and alternatives to everything. I will also say BetterHelp is so much cheaper than traditional therapy, and also it's way more flexible because it's literally on your phone. You can't do that in traditional therapy, I'll tell you that firsthand. There's over 20,000 licensed therapists on BetterHelp, and because there's so many people, it's available worldwide. So if you're interested anywhere in the world outside of the States, they are there for you as well. And I find it so cool that you can actually log into your account from anywhere and message your therapist whenever and just start kind of a little conversation going if you can't make it to your next appointment, or if you're not the best of face-to-face therapy like I once was. And you'll always get timely and thoughtful responses with every response from your licensed therapist as well. So it's not just like BS of like, yeah, general answer, general. Yeah, you don't get none of that. BetterHelp is so dedicated to finding therapists that will help you reach your personal goals, whether it be for your mental health, personal health, or just anything that you have going on emotionally or mentally, because that's what they're there for. That's one of their biggest things that they go after. If you are a watcher of mine and you're watching this video, you can actually get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. There'll be a link at the top of my description that you can check out if you want to get 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. If you're interested in trying BetterHelp, make sure you click the link at the top of my description and sign up today so you can start working on your overall well-being and happiness. And thank you so much for BetterHelp for sponsoring this video, and let's go ahead and get into painting with me. I literally told you guys in a couple of vlogs ago that I wanted to get into painting, and I'm finally doing it. Well, I've been doing it, but now I'm getting serious about it. So first question that somebody asked me was, would you ever move out of state or to a different part of North Carolina? We're gonna start a little bit easier today. I wouldn't mind moving to a place that isn't my hometown city, which is Charlotte, North Carolina. I think that my problem is I feel so comfortable here, and I see all the potential that Charlotte has as a city. It makes me really want to like stay, and I think that's my issue. I like being places that I feel like I can thrive and have fun outside of school. So like when I graduate, I feel like I can still have fun here in Charlotte, but the only thing is that there's not a lot of opportunity here just yet. I feel like Charlotte definitely has the potential to be like a mini Atlanta in a way. And Atlanta's a place that I actually was looking at moving to, but based on like traffic is a big factor for me. It makes me kind of not want to move there, but I definitely wouldn't mind moving to a place that isn't where I grew up. I actually want to when I get older. I just don't know where that is yet. So I need to get out of my comfort zone somehow. How did you choose your major you're in right now? I'm having a hard time trying to pick a new major. So recently I switched majors. A lot of you may or may not know that I was a communications major. At the college that I'm at, I go to UNC Charlotte, if you didn't know. At the college that I'm at, the communications department, it's pretty big. It's I think one of the biggest departments at the school. But for me personally, it just wasn't the right fit. The major and the department just wasn't really it for me. Like the department as in communication specifically, also this is where we're at right now. the communications department specifically. So I switched to a different major. I am now a writing, rhetoric, and digital studies major, which basically means I get to learn how to compose pieces across digital platform. I study digital platforms. I study algorithms and stuff like that. It's just a really laid back major, and it's more detailed into what I wanted to do before, because before I was a communications major with a focus in mass media, which basically means that I learn how to communicate to the masses, which is cool and everything. It wasn't as specific in what I wanted to do. So I ended up switching majors, which I am actually very happy with my switch. Everybody in my new department is so nice. It's very free going. And a lot of things in communications are theory-based and fact-based, which isn't what I wanted to do. I really wanted to like apply new findings instead of, you know, just learning about old theories, and that's what I just found worked best specifically in my new major. So basically what I do all the time now is just write and compose content, but make it for like a grade. So like I learn about different social platforms, we look at meta literacy, how to compose for these platforms, what we think is going to be the future of these platforms, and how to really just thrive in these platforms. And I think it's so fun and so cool that you can go into college and study stuff like this. I chose this major that I'm in now simply because I feel like I'm going to excel in it more than I would in communications, because I'm a very hands-on learner. Like, you can hand me a list of theories and say memorize them, and I can memorize them, but if I can't figure out a way to apply it and make it relevant to my personal life, I'm literally not going to care. I just feel as if that is with a lot of people, because you can hand me any information you want, but if I can't connect it to what I'm doing in real life, I'm not gonna give a damn. Considering I'm paying all this money for tuition, I'm gonna be in something that I want to care about, okay? I'm gonna learn about something I want to care about. And I realized this when I was in the middle of choosing my major. If I'm paying this much money, I am damn sure going to be doing something I care about. This looks a hot ass mess, but you know what? It's supposed to be relaxing, not ridiculing, okay? My advice to you for picking your major, pick out something that you're actually going to like to apply to your life, because you're going to be spending a lot of time focusing on this type of thing. So you might as well really, really, really enjoy what you're doing. It looks like a pickle. It looks like a pickle. I'm aware that looks like a pickle. Hopefully I can turn this around. This is my first like painting where I drew something ahead of time. Cash, I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. Do you want to leave? My next question is, how are you doing mentally? I feel like whenever I ask you guys to ask me like invasive questions, I always get asked like, how are you doing mentally? And I feel like that's not an invasive question. I think it's a question out of y'all genuinely wanting to make sure I'm okay. But personally, this is probably the best I've felt mentally I have in all of 2021. 2021 as a start was kind of rocky, because I felt so like not like myself for so long. Like I didn't know who I was. So like if I don't know who I am, and then on top of it I didn't feel like the person that I thought I was, it's exhausting. I will say that. But over time I started to feel a little better, and then the summer hit, and then that went to shit as well. That went to shit, and I felt bad a lot of the summertime. But now I feel the most like content and at peace that I have all year. And I think that's like a really good thing for me, because the end of the years are usually really like busy, and for me to feel like okay for this long at this time of year, literally the end of the year, I feel like that's amazing, because I haven't felt like this in years, honestly. I feel really good. I feel very at peace. I feel like I have a purpose. I found my love for content creating again. I feel like I'm finally making stuff after so long of trying to figure it out. I'm finally making things that I am passionate about, and I'm having fun. I'm starting up some behind the scene things. I have merch out now that I'm in love with. Like, I really think that all year I've been waiting to feel like where I'm at now, and I'm finally here. Like, I'm living my dream. Like, I'm living my dream life at 19. This looks crazy. This looks insane. I don't know Oh, I thought I got paint on me. I don't know why it looks like this, but it looks like a pickle, and that's not what we're going for, but we're gonna fix it, okay? All right, so somebody wanted, this is an invasive question, but I just wanted to go ahead and announce it here on YouTube for the first time. Somebody asked me if I was doing Vlogmas this year, and I'm here to tell you, yes, I am doing Vlogmas this year, but it's not gonna be like the Aliyah Simone Vlogmases that we've seen in the past. I will not be doing daily uploads, but I'll be doing weekly uploads, because although uploading daily is fun for a lot of people, right now I want to keep my peace and I want to give myself time outside of YouTube to enjoy things. So that's why I'm going to be most of the time just filming everything I do instead of filming, editing, like all the back and forth. Uploading daily when I was in high school was fun. Now that I'm in college, like, this shit is impossible. Like, I don't, first of all, my Wi-Fi isn't good enough for me to be uploading every day at a reasonable hour. Like, that's not how we roll. Basically, how I'm gonna do it is I'm probably just gonna upload one extra long vlog a week, and it'll probably be very long, probably like 30, 40, 50 minutes to an hour, depending on what that week includes, okay? And then I'm probably gonna sprinkle just a few other non-vlogs throughout the week, just so you guys can, you know, have that while we wait, you know? Okay, so the next question is your current position in life where you imagine you would be as a kid. 100% no. I didn't think I would ever be this financially stable at 19. Like, I never thought I'd be this financially stable this young in life. And I don't know why it like baffles me so much, but it does. And I find it very funny because it's like, I never thought that I'd be this financially stable this young, simply because I didn't know I would have what I wanted to do this figured out this early in life. Now that I have it, it's like I can actually live my life like as I want to. I have financial freedom to where it's never a problem. Like, if I want to up and travel somewhere, I can just go and do it. I don't have to like think about it too hard. If I want to have a midlife crisis and change everything about my look and style, I can. If I want to help out one of my friends, if they need some help, I can. I love it here. I never thought I'd be here this soon, and I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing, if that makes sense. But I love it here. I love my life. Do you think you'll ever bring back old merch designs but in different colorways? I get this question a lot, because usually when I do merch drops, I usually simply just drop that one piece and then it never comes back. And I'd like to do that simply because, one, I feel like it's cool to see what stage people were really tuning into with me, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I feel like if I kept something continuous, it's just like, okay, they've just, you know, been here. But like with the different designs and stuff, I really feel like I can, who was around at that time, and see people's like favorite, you know, designs, because I feel like so far all my designs were actually very diverse and different, and that's what I like about doing this so much. It just shows like when you were around, and I think it's so cool. So far we look a mess, but we're gonna fix it. Even if it's not the best first painting, I don't have the best supplies, but I am at peace right now, so I'm gonna enjoy that for myself. But the only time I pretty much would ever really bring back a design would be to probably just, for old time's sake, it'll probably have to be a really special occasion, but I don't see myself doing it too often for that reason. But I also really don't have that much control over what goes out when. I'm actually wearing my newest piece right now. Sure. How do you feel about gentle parenting or no hitting or yelling? Do you feel like it's okay? I like gentle parenting. I feel like gentle parenting is a better, more in control way of parenting that doesn't cause as much chaos. Whenever I have children, I don't plan on whooping them, maybe like a little love tap, but like that's pretty much it. I feel like talking through and explaining why you're upset with your kid, why their actions are wrong, and how to build kind of an understanding and early levels of communication is what's best for children, so they can get those skills early. But I like gentle parenting. I just feel like some, you know, kids need it. Like, you can't tell them like, you're in trouble because I said so all their life, and then wonder why they can't communicate their feelings and other things when they get older. You know what I'm saying? Have you considered quitting YouTube? If so, what stopped you? I've considered quitting YouTube seriously like 1 or 2 times. But what stopped me was that I realized without it, I didn't feel, also this is a paint marker, I didn't feel, or I wouldn't feel as whole as I would like to without it, if that makes any sense at all. I thought about stopping doing YouTube when I was in high school, because I was just so busy between me and taking college classes on top of trying to be a regular high school student. I ended up not stopping because I realized when he said that, like, you're right, like, this is one of my biggest passions. So shout out to him for not letting me stop. It's something that I love to do. I absolutely love doing YouTube. But sometimes, you know, insecurities do pop up and things happen and life happens. You know, being on social media, the age of comparison, it can get a little hectic here and there, but I am so happy I never quit because I'm now at a point in my life between all my sources of income, I can support myself without really depending on anybody, without depending on anybody at all. I can pay for a place to live. I can pay for my car, my gas, kind of do whatever and still have money to save to be left over. So I feel like I just ended up in a really much better place than I ever thought I would if I have stopped. Like, if I have stopped, I definitely couldn't have been doing half the stuff that I can do now at 19. Like, it's crazy to think that I'm only 19 and I'm doing this. But I'm very proud for, like, being pushed to keep going despite, like, my personal thoughts and insecurities and stresses getting in the way, because if I stopped, I couldn't even imagine where I would be right now. I'm drawing hearts upside down, and by far this is the hardest thing I think I've ever done. But you know what? We're getting somewhere. But yeah, I'm just happy I didn't stop, because I wouldn't know where I would be without it. This is such like a stress reliever for me, you know, just creating stuff from scratch, even if it's something as small as like filming a video. Because I feel like when people hear like content creator, they think like, okay, you have to take pictures, then post the videos, and that's like it, you know? But like, it's so much more to it, because behind those pictures there was probably planning, thoughts, you know, 50 million different angles to get that perfect angle for that video shoot or that photo shoot. And I just feel like a lot of people think it's a lot easier than it actually is, but I love it. I love it. I'm so glad. Have you ever had an eating disorder? If so, can you talk about it a bit? I've never had an eating disorder, a diagnosed eating disorder, let me say that. But I have had a very interesting relationship with food in the past couple, I don't know how to describe it, but it's not the healthiest, but we're working on it. I don't think I have one. I don't think I've ever had one. I mean, I've never gotten professionally diagnosed because I never had the idea that I could have one. He looks like a squish pickle, but I promise we're gonna get somewhere. I swear we're gonna get somewhere, okay? Somebody asked me for my skincare routine, the full one, but didn't I just put that in my IG routine like less than 2 months ago? Or am I bugging? I digress. What's your favorite color and what job you trying to get in college specifically? So my favorite color right now is probably gray or black. I finally let go of the baby blue. I feel like it was just too bright for me. I'm in my neutrals era, or burgundy, definitely. And then what job I'm trying to get after college, I definitely want to stay in social media, but as I get older, I feel like my desire for creating might not be as strong as to where I'm creating my own content. So I definitely want to do something that my personal social media managers do, which is probably manage other social media, you know, content creators and influencers, because I just feel like that is so fun. I get to be a part of the process while also working with brands and stuff. So becoming a social media manager is probably one of the most fun jobs and one of the most fitting, because I also get to stay in the industry while simultaneously like being on the outside while being on the inside, if that makes any sense. I have actually started kind of micromanaging people, so like friends around me who've been wanting to get into it, so I've been helping them out, you know, just so I can get the swing of things, see what works for me. And I've been having a blast doing so, like creating strategies, this, that, and the third, and seeing the strategies come to life, and it's so fun. I love it. I never thought I'd end up doing that. I literally wanted to be a teacher when I was younger, but you know, never thought I'd be here, to be honest. Do you want to travel the whole country? So I was actually talking to my boyfriend about this, like, not long ago, actually. And we want to go on a trip soon, like, after Christmas and New Year's. And it's so hard to, like, travel in the U.S. because if you really think about it, there's really nothing here outside of, like, California, Florida, New York, Texas, Atlanta, and that's pretty much, like, it. And I've been to like majority of those places already. So I don't want to travel the entire United States, although I feel like it would be fun. I just feel like maybe travel an entirely different country or continent, because I just feel like the States doesn't really give, I don't know how to explain it, it just doesn't really give like travel the whole thing like other countries do. Maybe it's because like I live here and I don't see anything exciting, but like to any of my non-US watchers, please tell me, like, would you just come to the States like just because like I wouldn't. Saying that as a native, this looks crazy, but you know what, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, we're fine, it's fine. It's fine. Something you wish you weren't lacking on your channel life, etc. I think the only thing I wish I wasn't lacking was such intense, like, I don't know how to explain it. Such intense, like, fear, I guess. I think the one thing that holds me back from doing a lot of the things that I do, like just in my personal life, on my social media life, is fear. Because like I like taking risk, but when I risk evaluate, I pretty much know like how things are gonna go. But like when I don't know things, I get a big sense of being scared, and whenever something's different that I do, I fear that it's going to just, you know, blow up in my face, da 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 da. So I feel like if I didn't have as much fear as I did, I feel like things would be a lot different in just like a lot of aspects of my life. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, fear keeps people safe, but I just wish I wasn't so like overly cautious as I am now, if that makes any sense. Do you think doing YouTube in high school was a good idea? I started my YouTube when I was in middle school, I believe. Middle school, I would say I would wait. But you asked about high school specifically, so I'm going to tell you honestly, since I started mine in high school. Although it was very fun, the one thing I would say was, if you do start, I feel like it's not a terrible idea, but just be ready for people to compare your high school content to your content that you do as you get older, if you do it that long, for the rest of your life. And be ready for people to ask about people that you went to school with for the rest of your life. I still get asked about people that I showed in vlogs from high school to this day. And I graduated high school last year, and I haven't really showed any of my public high school friends before I switched schools in my vlog since 2018, 17, I believe. And I still get asked about them to this day. So just be ready if you want to leave that digital footprint. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I definitely think you just have to be cautious with it, because that digital footprint is something serious. And unless you don't want to deal with that, just be very cautious of who you post, like, period. Like, that's something I had to learn, like, being cautious of who I post. I'm very cautious of who I post now, but as you can see, I still don't post like my friends 24/7, because I don't want to be one of those channels that like people come to watch my friends and not me, because like at the end of the day, this is my channel. Yeah, I feel like when I was in high school, a lot of people started coming to watch my friends for me. So when I switched school and people are like, oh my gosh, the vibe is different, da 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 da, like, oh my gosh, what's going on, like, what are you doing, like, it's not the same, we miss your other friends, da 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 da. It's like, okay, you can miss them, they have their own socials, but like, why aren't you coming to watch for me? You know, like, it's aliyah Simone, not aliyah Simone and friends, like, come on, you know. So I don't think it's a terrible idea. Just be ready for people to fall in love with your high school experience and your relatability, and then when you eventually leave high school, they're going to constantly bring up how you aren't relatable anymore and you aren't quirky. Don't ask me what's going on with this painting, because quite frankly, I don't know. I was watching a video, I think it's about lifestyle influencers. I'm gonna link it down below. It's very interesting, and I think it dabbles on that. I'm gonna rewatch it, and if it dabbles on that, I'm gonna link it down below. I mean, either way, I'm gonna link it down below, but it's one of my favorite videos. I've watched it a couple times now, and it's really good. Big props to the creator. I love that video. This looks like a disaster, but you know what? We all have to start somewhere, okay? How private do you keep a relationship? Example, who do you tell your relationship problems to? So I like to keep my relationship private, but not a secret. Like, as y'all know, like, my boyfriend's been on my channel a few times now. Y'all know he's there, but like, I'm never gonna come on here and be like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, right now we're in an argument, da da da, because like, people don't know how to let shit go on the internet, for one, and for two, I just don't think that putting my personal relationship business out on the internet is as important as it used to be, because once again, I feel like since I was so lost, like, so long ago, I feel like I relied on other people to create a personality for me, or I used people to be a part of my personality, and that's not how it's supposed to go. But that's a whole different conversation. But okay, that's my painting. My camera's flashing, so I'm gonna change the battery and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back with the new battery, but I'm just gonna let my painting dry and I'm just gonna keep answering some questions. But just kind of going off that, I don't really tell anybody my relationship problems at all, because I feel like sometimes when I get input on what I'm doing from other people, it kind of sways how I respond to things. And being aware that I do that, it really just kind of helps me focus and say like, okay, this is our problem. We can figure this out together, and if we can't figure it out, then when we bring in backup, that's when we bring in backup. So if I do have to ask somebody, I'll probably ask one of my friends, probably one of my older cousins, but I keep it very minimal, 1, 2 people at most, because I just feel like running and telling arguments just like isn't how you fix something. It can low-key blow up in your face, and knowing that people hold grudges on other people even though it's not their problem, it just really kind of throws me for a loop, you know? Do you think the true meaning of love has been lost through generations? I don't think the meaning of true love has been lost. I think it's just been switched, because me personally, I feel like older generations just had like this thing where they were like, okay, meet a person, get married, have kids, you stick with them no matter what. But I feel like as we kind of gotten older and they got older and the younger kids came up, that changed. Now we don't put up with shit. I don't think it's been lost. I just think it's been a little shifted and different, if that makes sense. How do you really feel about the people you surround yourself with? So I was just actually talking to my boyfriend about this the other day. I was telling him I need to have people around me that are not having their stuff together, but somewhat have their stuff together and have to have some sort of structure, because you kind of are who you surround yourself with. So if I'm around people who like just don't do much all day, but you know, get drunk, do whatever at like 2 o'clock, they don't do anything with like themselves, I'm eventually going to get molded into that, because you know, their influence on me, no matter how old you are, people are going to influence you in your decisions and how you move. So I personally feel like everybody I surround myself with on a consistent basis now is good for me, because they add structure while also adding some fun and kind of flexibility in what my life is and what I do on the day-to-day basis, if that makes any sense. Why don't you speak more on your mental health and how it affects you daily? The reason I really speak on my mental health anymore is because I feel like I'm at a place where I have a healthy relationship with it, and it's at a healthy state, if that makes sense. So like I don't feel like I'm crippling with sadness every day to the point where I feel like I need to talk about it all the time. And honestly, talking about negative mental health can low-key be detrimental if that's all you talk about and talk about it so frequently. One time I talked about it and how, you know, sometimes I feel like, you know, I can't do my daily task and I have people throw it back in my face, and I'm just like, well, now I don't want to talk about it anymore. But now that I kind of deal with it behind the scenes, when it does flare up, it hasn't flared up, negative mental health hasn't came back in a while. Now that I kind of learned how to deal with it on my own without showing it to the media or just like the general public, I feel like it's better for me to just not talk about it as much, because some things I just want to keep to myself, honestly. And then I just don't want to talk about how it affects me daily, because I just don't want it thrown in my face, and I don't want a constant reminder or letting the world know like what bothers me daily. Like I don't want that to happen all the time, you know? Do you get jealous of others' YouTube channels that are similar to yours? Being in an industry where numbers are the biggest factor in your success, of course I do. It's a natural human instinct. Do I wonder why some people who we do the same videos, why they're getting hundreds of thousands and millions of views when we literally do the same thing? And then, you know, yeah, I get a little confused, but at the end of the day, I'm fine. I can pay my bills and they're doing their thing. So like, and at the end of the day, I can use them as inspiration and kind of point out like, okay, so what are they doing that might get them these extra views that's not doing for me? It kind of helps me grow in a sense, but of course, you know, it's a natural human thing. How often do you sleep over at your boyfriend's house? Way more than I probably should. At least 2-3 times a week. Especially on the weekends. Usually I spend the whole weekend there just because, like, why not? Hello, I miss him. I don't get to see him much during the week, but way more than I should. At this point, I should be paying a little bit of that rent. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you regret publicizing your relationship and breakup? 25. That's not a bug. It's a fuzzy. Okay. Cacho! Definitely, I would say like a 25, simply because the whole way that I just went about it was so toxic and ugly, and I would take it back in a heartbeat. It was just so messy, and I was so young, and I never really had to deal with that before. So I feel like overall, it was just like, why did you do that? You know, like, why did you act that way? You didn't need to do that. Why would you do that to yourself? Like, overall, it just could have been a lot better. I don't regret putting my relationship out there. What I do regret is how much of it I put out there and how much madness I mixed in with that, because it made just the whole experience like bad. Like, I don't mind posting my significant other. The one thing I do have a problem with is when people start ridiculing them when I'm the one. That's why I don't post my friends as much anymore, because I don't like when the world ridicules them, because it's not fair. If anything, ridicule me. You can ridicule me all you want, I don't care. Just leave them out of it, which is why I've been so selective, because I just don't want them exposed to like negativity and hate, especially if I can help it. And most of the time my friends don't really care, so when I do post them, it's just like fun-hearted, but as soon as like one or two people's like, oh my gosh, it makes me never want to do it again. Like, I don't know why I'm so protective of the people around me, but knowing like what comes with like just being out there, I guess that's a big factor in why I act like that and why I don't post them as much. But I never regret posting people. What I do regret is, you know, how it was dealt with, you know. So guys, that's it for this kind of paint with me and answering questions. I'm gonna put a final overview of what the painting came out to look like, because I realized I was trying to draw a cartoon that I saw on Pinterest and I needed paint markers, and I don't have a black paint marker that's good, and the paint is still wet, so I'm gonna do a little paint marker thing and show y'all how it came out. Hopefully it comes out good, or at least a little bit not like shit. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you the most, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye, everybody.